We there. We live. It's the chop up.
We here, baby. We here,
This
baby.
Yo, yo, yo.
chop up. Ooh, me, yeah. My internet messing up a little bit, but it should be straight. Yeah, we cool. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, it's like you still catching up to the lag. But you can
What
be
about
heard.
now?
Now you lagging. You said, what about now? And then you lip smoke. Unless it's mine.
No, it's me. It's me.
Investing out the blue, Kevin Madero's Dark Side. What's good?
I'm gonna refresh and I'll bring it back in. Hold on.
You know we got us something. Dark Side Kevin investigating out the blue.
What's good, y'all? If you ain't here, come in and say what's up. Y'all know what to do.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I gotta rep my random ass shirt I got on today.
Is it the Golden Girls? Oh no, that's an easy.
That's the easy. It's Dr. Dre, Easy E, and Betty White in some restaurant probably out here somewhere vibing.
No.
I just saw it and I was like, that is a random ass assortment of people together in the picture. I want it.
Without
I want
a
the
doubt.
story behind this shirt. What's good? What's good?
Respect. Hey, y'all say what's up as y'all come in, man.
Kendra, what's up? New Eric Kane, Jumbie, Stephanie, Pinky Promise Life, back up in this thing. Salute to you, George.
For sure.
What's up with it? Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. What's up?
We missed y'all last week. A lot of things going on, you know what I mean? But we back at it like a bad habit.
You know what I'm saying?
We gonna get it in. Today, how was y'all weekend?
It was smooth. I went to the beach on Saturday, went to the fair on Sunday. My nephew in town, my homeboy in town, my homegirl in town. So I've been living good.
That's what's up. Yeah, I was kicking it with fam, you know what I mean? Threw my mama a surprise birthday party. You feel me? She loved it. That was dope. Kicked in Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? So I'm back, reinvigorated. You know what I mean? Really, really ready to get into the shit. Lee?
Hey, my weekend was nice. You know, I was able to chill with the fam. My wife had to work, so I was daddy duties all weekend. You know what I'm saying? We was able to move and groove and smooth, and you feel me? Move around. So yeah, we doing smooth.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, so
make sure y'all check out too tomorrow. Make sure y'all check out that Wayne Brady live, man. It's gonna be on IG. Y'all do me a favor, tap in.
Yeah.
About some real shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
Hey, on the other side.
Hold on. Let's be clear. Y'all check out Wayne Brady. You know what I'm saying? Wayne Brady Instagram tomorrow. Lee will be on there with Wayne Brady getting it in. Who knows what Wayne Brady want to talk about when it come to race? You know what I'm saying? I'm really interested to see. You feel me? Cause hey, everybody know about the Dave Chappelle joint where he was like Wayne Brady made Brian Gumbel look like Malcolm X. Yeah. That actually pissed Wayne Brady off, to be for real. So it's like Wayne Brady a little bit more, you know what I'm saying?
With the shits than we give him credit for.
You know?
You feel me? So yeah, we're gonna. I mean, that's gonna be an interesting conversation. So y'all check Lee out over there on Conscious Lee page or on Wayne Brady Instagram. But on the Conscious Lee YouTube, we got the Lost in the Sauce lecture series part 2 of the intro to critical race theory. You know what I'm saying? To break down a little bit more of that. That is what's that? That's next week, George. On what day?
Tuesday. Next
Tuesday. Okay, bet. Yeah, next Tuesday, the Lost in the Sauce lecture series, the introduction to critical race theory part 2. Gonna get a little bit more in depth into some of the key aspects of critical race theory as well as the key criticisms of critical race theory. So, with that all being said, without further ado, we could go ahead and get it started. We're gonna start the show the way that we always start the show. Let's get it.
Me, my guys, we really live. Lord, forgive me, pay my tithes. Please don't have me reach inside. And I send them console. Keep the semi when I ride. Little penny when I drive. In the city, we gon' slide. Better be there
pronto.
Y'all know what it is. This is the Chop Up. I am Damo, the political plug. Here on another Monday.
Yeah.
Y'all already know who I'm with. Talk to him, Toya.
Hey, what's up? It's Toya G in the building. Happy to be with y'all on this beautiful Monday in July. definitely happy to see these NBA finals cooking. We got a Milwaukee Bucks fan in the comments. Shout out to bro Didact Mercury. I'm actually going for the Suns. You know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna be Suns in 7. I think they're gonna cook down to the wire, but that's just me and mine. So big love to everybody though. It's just another beautiful Sunday, Monday night. Sunny. And at least where I'm from. I meant to say sunny Monday night.
Yeah. It's hot as hell. It was hot as hell today.
Yeah, it was.
What up, Lee?
Yeah, Monday. George Lee, aka Conscious Lee. Don't forget the Lee. You know, you can find me at georgeleespeaks.com. Get all your merch, get all your stuff over there. You feel me? Especially trying to get me booked for anything, really. This week, man, we got some nice conversations for y'all, man. We're gonna jump really right into it. You feel me? We know that there was a lot of controversy surrounding those old vaccines and, you know, people getting them and not getting them and what they can do and what they can't do. We know in recent news, we got a new variant out. We got a new spike of the coronavirus. What do y'all like? How y'all feel, and specifically when it comes to dialogue about the vaccines and this new variant, the Delta?
So, you know, Delta variant out here on the streets. A lot of people saying they finna just go through the whole Greek alphabet on them and just variant after variant. Niggas is like these variants is coming out like new pledges. You know what I'm saying? You know, aka DST, Alpha Phi Alpha. They just like, man, these mugs is about to keep popping up on us. And so that's what I'm mostly concerned about. The news that LA County has decided to, you know, put mask mandates back for all indoor activities is a big deal. It's pretty huge. LA likes to be at the forefront of, you know, having their defenses high against COVID. They have throughout the entire pandemic. So I'm not surprised that they decided to act that swiftly. But it's interesting, you know what I'm saying, to see LA County, that includes Long Beach where Damo lived, be like, hey, mask back on, you come inside, it's non-negotiable, it's a mandate. That's a sign and a symbol that it's not a game. And so, you know, this is time for us to have real conversations about the vaccine, about how it works again, about what its purpose is, because even with the vaccine, you can be a problem or cause problems or experience problems with these variants, you know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying? But realistically, you know, we still, you should have hopefully never let your guard down. Hopefully y'all out there keeping your guards up because it's real out there.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it was an inevitability. You feel me? You know, we really kind of just decided, you know what I'm saying, that the pandemic was over. It wasn't no like we reached these numbers, because it was like 1 week it was like crazy numbers. Then the vaccine dropped. And then it's like, all right, we ain't talking about the numbers as much because we got all these people vaccinated are vaccinated. And so it was like we just kind of decided that we was past the pandemic. And so, you know, this whole Delta variant thing is kind of it's expected. You know what I mean? And I definitely think that it's bad press. It's bad PR for the idea of vaccines, because the whole purpose was to get this so you could be straight. You know what I mean? But now they talking about, well, now you got to come in and get booster shots, and now you got to. Toya, it's bad. It's bad PR. It's bad press because
it's bad PR for people who are deciding to be willfully ignorant about how vaccines work. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you are like, oh, I got the vaccine, I'm good, and nothing can ever happen to me, then you lie to yourself about the vaccine and what it does and how it works and what its purpose was. And so, yeah, it becomes bad PR. So I think that is a bit like a bigger reality to face, is that everybody thought that the vaccines were supposed to be a silver bullet. They were never supposed to be. It was supposed to be accompanied with a whole bunch of shit. And I think when people use it as this magic potion, either to say, aha, I told you so, or to say, I'm out here living young, wild, and free, you playing yourself on both ends of the spectrum.
But I mean, but that's what I think that's where the bad press comes in, because that's actually how it worked, right? Like there's no, I mean, there's a lot of middle ground there, but when we hear these conversations, just like any political conversation, it's polar. We hear the polarized conversation. We don't get the like the middle ground of just like, you know, it's a lot of people that decided to get the vaccine just based off of, you know, I'm gonna trust the science. I'm a believe that this is the thing that works best.
Sure.
Right. And a part of what when I'm talking about that bad press is that it's a lot of people use it. See, they telling you got to get the Delta variant now, and they tell you now you got to get the other one. And so these conversations, even outside of like the large, what we see on media, social media, whatever, when people are having these conversations, it's like, how do you then respond to the person that was already looking at you crazy? Like, when you turn into a zombie from getting that vaccine, I'm taking you out. You know what I mean? Now they like, okay, what you think about that? You got vaccinated. What you think about that Delta though?
But here's my thing. I will say this. Go ahead, Lee.
I feel like that's almost be petty. It's like, hey, Damo, before Damo spoke, you almost asked him, tell me you've been around YouTube niggas without telling me you've been around. Niggas spitting all these goddamn YouTube conspiracy theories about motherfuckers that already was a little faulty when it came to the science of it anyway. I just think that me being old enough to know when we had to carry around the immunization records. It's like, hey, the immunization records.
We had to get shots. If you don't get your shots, you can go.
It's a reason why there was a list of vaccines you had to get, because it was new shit that came out all the time. Yeah. So to me, I just think that now people, to me, I feel like it's a way you should be woke. And I think that when you weaponize your wokeness for dumb shit and like being pseudoscience and shit like that, I think it's not cool. It's not.
I'm gonna tell you,
productive.
It ain't. And that's why the ones talking the loudest on that pseudoscientific shit be the ones that I ignore the most. Because the thing that ignores me about a lot of those same people is that they're not willing to stand in the decision that they made. Right? You can't point at me and say, ha, there's a variant out there that could, now you got to get a booster shot. Oh, you can still get it. You can still get the Delta variant with a vaccine. Like, that might be true, but at least I'm standing in my shit. Right? I recognize and understood what I signed up for. I know how vaccines work, so I know I can still get sick from COVID. I know that it was a possibility of a booster shot. They've been said that if you was paying attention to the news and not just sensationalizing the moment, they've been said it was going to be a booster shot at least in about a year. Now they saying it could be a little bit sooner, depending on which one you have. But I already knew that was already on my radar. That's realistic, because every year you have a flu booster shot. But when I say it bothers me that these people ain't willing to stand in their shit, they ain't willing to tell the truth. Right? If you don't have a vaccine shot, you're supposed to put a mask on. But it's people faking and shaking like they got a vaccine that's ripping the mask off, that's running around, and they're the ones causing the problem. And that's my issue. You ain't willing to stand in your decision. You made a decision not to get a shot, so you should keep your mask on and walk around with a mask on. Instead, you trying to, exist in both worlds. You get to straddle the fence. And now not only are you not willing to, make the decision to get a vaccine and protect yourself and other people, but you also walking around like you are the problem. You are the issue, and there's no way around that. And that's the people we're not talking about. Is the people who get to walk around and abuse, but then point the finger like, you stupid. No, you stupid.
But what I think, and now let's be clear, I'm vaccinated. I'm not anti-vax at all. So please understand that the positions that I'm putting forth has to do with how the conversation becomes muddled, and it's important because with the way that social media has allowed for certain theories to proliferate, it's certain arguments that become more mainstream than you think. Like flat Earth, for example, is something that is a lot of people take way more serious than they should, right? And they do because of social media. So you now have people like that are anti-vax or that are utilizing anti-vax talking points that was never anti-vax or whatever, but because these things have been injected into the mainstream conversation, this anti-vax position has been injected into the mainstream conversation. We underestimate how many people adhere to some baseline understanding of being anti-vaccine, starting with and really weaponizing the distrust that Black people have of medical industries. Right? I mean, because like I said, I was just with my family. I was having some conversations with my sisters. I mean, they had some concerns. You know what I mean? I listened to them, and I was just like, yeah, whatever, y'all know. You know what I'm saying? Like, without, like, them my girls, I love them to death, but they was on some silly shit. You feel me? But to me, I'm taking note. Like, my mama vaccinated us. Like, we all got our shots. You know what I mean? So the fact that now all of a sudden we're having these anti-vaccine conversations, that means it's something else happening mainstream socially, right? That's also that they're getting access to these talking points, and so it's like we can't underestimate how much sway that has on the larger conversation. Because if this is what's informing people, you feel me? This how that shit creep up on you, and niggas be in control of some shit that they shouldn't be in control of.
That's big facts. Lee, I'm gonna jump over to these comments because they kind of been jerking. It says a couple people asked the question. Actually, New Kang Air asked the question: do we like lockdowns? How do we feel about the possibility, potential of things running rampant and us being back in a position of lockdowns? We're gonna answer that question in a second. Pinky Promise Life says, I'm not vaccinated, but I keep to myself in my bubble and I always mask up if I have to go around others. That's the honor system, right? That's how it's supposed to work. That's how things are supposed to function. And you're supposed to do right based on the decision you made. TB points out, though, jump down to this real quick. There are no consequences anymore. Beforehand, if you didn't wear a mask, you couldn't enter the store or the restaurant. Now there's an honor system for a country that's never been honorable. And so that's the problem. If we going off the G code, you know what I'm saying? GP trying to make sure we can trust people and people not being trustworthy about something that we recognize was so serious and acknowledged it was serious before. Because it's people who are willing to say, I don't want to get vaccinated, but I understand how serious the coronavirus is. You know what I'm saying? People that's like, I'm not no fool. I'm just not willing to go as far as get vaccinated. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't worth it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if I was somebody like invested in the science and understood the science and was like, okay, knowing what I know, I can't rock with it, I would stand firm in that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like I'm not. Everything I get, I can only look at it from the mindset of an amateur. A novice, someone who is disconnected from that entire field of study. You know what I mean? And as someone who appreciates certain levels of in forms of academia, you understand that it's certain layers and nuances to any form of science or any form of thought that to just be like, all right, I'm gonna just read some shit real quick and I got all the understanding I need. I'm not gonna be that type of nigga. I'm not that type of nigga. I can't. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like I don't think there's a real benefit to being like, nah, I ain't letting them inject me with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Tuskegee. You feel me? I don't. Yeah. And like I said, that's weaponized in our history. You feel me? Against our own minds. That's fucking
real sensational. Right?
You said what, Lee?
So I see, that's when it start getting real sensational, like because it really erase or it gloss over all of the normalized vaccinations you have to get into a schoolhouse. You know what I'm saying?
That and I told y'all one of the biggest reasons why, y'all go back in the episodes and listen. It was some episodes where I was like, I'm on the fence. And when I decided to make the decision about it, to go ahead and do it, it was because I didn't want to allow history to be weaponized against me. Because the same history where we'll talk about where those things happen are the same history. We'll talk about Dr. Charles Drew. We'll talk about Henrietta Lex. We'll talk about all these contributions that Black doctors have contributed and made for this. We'll talk about and won't talk about the Black doctors that will celebrate. We'll get excited when young Black kids want to go to medical school. We'll be excited and make healthcare decisions and try to get doctors that look like us and So if we validate their decisions and perspectives in that breath, what is stopping me from the next breath being like, okay, these same doctors who are participating in creating this vaccine, these same doctors and immunologists who have done the research, who have crunched the numbers, who are objectively saying it's safe, why all of a sudden do I got to shut them down? But I'm excited because you want to. That makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Those are that cognitive, this is a term for this. It's called cognitive dissonance, right? Where you find ways to disrupt what you would normatively do. You separate what you would naturally think or you would naturally reason for yourself and buy into something else. And I just wasn't willing to participate in that for this time. You know what I'm saying? And Kevin also, I laughed at Kevin Medeiros' comment. Kevin said, I got vaxxed, but to keep it funky, when's the last time we got free healthcare? Also, you know what I'm saying? Like, let the record show. You know what I'm saying?
They did get out of the way for free. And I'll say this, George, and you could put the bow on it. Blue first. I want to point out the comment Blue made. He said he's one of them dumb holistic healers. You feel me? Ain't nobody calling holistic healers dumb, nigga.
To be clear,
we're talking about the approach that people take. In terms of how these conversations take place. You feel me? That's what we're talking about. And what we have to understand is like what Toya is talking about specifically when she bring up people like Dr. Charles Drew, is that Black people are routinely, systemically, and systematically denied the resources needed for them to survive certain things like pandemics. You know what I mean? Like we can't ignore that part. Because if you're talking about Black people were dying at a higher rate fooling with COVID, and then Black people were being denied vaccines, the conversation would be crazy. You know what I mean? And so we gotta put history in perspective.
Yeah.
and understand that there are ways where we become our own worst enemy, and we become what I really call like, you know, agents of whiteness and white supremacy, because you end up becoming controlled opposition.
Yeah.
Not necessarily knowing it. Now, you're not purposely trying to undermine black people, but because of where your energy and conversation and knowledge is invested in, it can become counterproductive. Question everything, black people.
Yeah.
Question everything, black people.
See, like even brother Dadak, you know, in terms of questioning everything, is like, I don't think it's the vaccine. For me, it's the research and development behind the vaccine. The vaccine is developed fast without too much research behind it, but that's a misnomer, right? So doing your own research, your own leaning in, discovering the truths about the questions that you have is important. We've talked about before how this is COVID. Not 1, not 2, not 12, not 16. This is COVID number 19. This is not new. SARS is something familiar to us that is an iteration of this particular virus. So this was not new news. And the fact, when you have all the scientists in the world who are stopping everything they're doing to put all hands on deck to work towards solving this conundrum, this enigma, you're going to come up with some answers and some solutions pretty quick. So while it is logical to be nervous about phrases like, emergency approval and this, that, and the other, it was emergent, and people responded to that who are qualified to do so. You know what I'm saying? So that's really kind of important to remember as well. The second comment I peeped over here that I wanted to holler at, and yeah, too, I guess just want to double down on investing out of the blue. Like, this is trust us. You know what I'm saying? The skepticism we have around the state, around the government, around white people and white supremacy is strong over here. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is overwhelmingly buying into Western medicine, right? We understand, like, the way that imperialism, the way that settler colonialism, the way that white supremacy is shaded the truth about a bunch of different, approaches and strategies. Specifically science. But you know what I'm saying? Like, 2 feet on the ground says that we have to navigate all of those worlds, that we should approach and be honest and genuine and just forthcoming about the realities of all of those particular approaches, because there are some limitations to holistic solutions to things. And I mean, that's not to disrespect your craft, your beliefs, or anything like that. But the same way I believe there are limitations to Western medicine, which is why I pray. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's about combining and working all of those avenues to create a better landscape for health. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pray first, I'm gonna pray last, and I'm gonna pray in between. But we're gonna figure out, depending on what the situation is, whether or not some medical options are, right for me. Shout out to baby Oku coming in from Boston too, by the way. Definitely love everybody popping in to the show real quick. But that's my take. You know what I'm saying, on how that move.
Yeah, man. We're just putting a bow on this conversation. We should always keep our ear to the streets. And always really try to understand and have an awareness of what's going on. I think that we should always be looking at multiple different sources in terms of when you do your research, whether it's about what's going on with the coronavirus or you're talking about the effectiveness of the coronavirus vaccine. In closing, though, it ain't going nowhere. I know that we have tried to renormalize making things normal in terms of the absence of coronavirus, but shit, this coronavirus ain't going nowhere. And if you live down south, you feel me? If you live in a red state, to be specific, I think that we should be very worried about how the people that we've elected to put in position to kind of protect us and take care of us, how they might, be lost in the sauce of political bipartisan bullshit. And we looking and trying to, that's what we got. That's what I think we should worry about, though. You feel me? Us folks down south uniquely, man. But next conversation, man, that was the Snapchat. You feel me? What we got next?
Plug.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the political chop, man. We ain't did one of these in a little bit. And actually the political chop that we're gonna do today is gonna really get into why. I mean, we really ain't had one. This is gonna be a It's gonna be. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this without sounding like a jackass, because initially I'm thinking of it. It's like Donald Trump brought something. He brought something.
He did.
He brought conversation, right? A lot of times where I was going back and forth for people, specifically Black people, about Donald Trump. One thing that always came up was that the good thing that he did while he was beneficial was because he had people talking about him, and not just talking about him, but the implications of race, privilege, the way that those things play out in government. You know what I mean? What they how they function when they normalize all of that type of shit, right? Everybody was on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody had analysis, everybody had commentary, everybody was a political scientist,
right?
My question to y'all is, what happened to him? What happened to all of the pundits? What happened to all the commentators? What happened to everybody that knew Joe Biden? What happened to everybody that did all their research on Joe Biden's crime bill, on Hillary Clinton's super predator comments?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What happened to everybody's political conversation now that Trump is gone?
Y'all, I don't know if y'all familiar with volleyball, but this is about to be a bump set and a spike, right? Damo just bumped it. I'm about to set it so that Conscious Lee can spike it, because Lee called this shit when he was making videos and when he developed the character, the conscious conservative. A huge part of that was calling out the people whose only social media presence was based on their whole platforms, whole followership was based on them having something to say about Donald Trump or having something to antagonize people with their politics. And he called that shit. So that's my set. I'm gonna send it over to Lee to answer the question that Dominique asked, what happened, because Lee was on people's asses and predicted
what happened, George?
Everything happened. George, what happened? You muted, bro. You muted.
Hey, we know the hypocrisy of democracy is something that is so embedded into the way politics work in America. You feel me? And before anybody in the comment section get on that bullshit, I'm not saying that America is not a republic. I'm saying that whatever you want to call America, whether you want to call it a republic or not, it is structured by democratic ideas. But we all know, you feel me, is that it was a lot of people that voted for Biden, you feel me, that didn't give a damn about Latino welfare, didn't give a damn about Muslim welfare. But when Donald Trump went into office, all of a sudden, that's what became an issue. All of a sudden, that's what people started worried about. So what happened? The hypocrisy of democracy happened, and the nice, cute face came back that we wanted to have. And as a result, nobody's really engaged in the policymaking process. You feel me? Because, hey, Biden is back. Liberalism is restored.
I mean, but the truth can also be said, as we even talk. I mean, this is actually true across the board. It applies for all political pundits, because we've had our criticisms of people like Kanye, who was running for whole ass president at one point. Like, bruh, Donald Trump is out there on the campaign trail. You don't care no more? You don't want to run? You don't want to be for, like, I mean, I guess you are able to change your political desires, but what happened to everything you had to say about how this country was run and this, that, and the other? Ice Cube, we on your ass too. You know what I'm saying? Because you popped up out of nowhere with a whole lot to say, and all of a sudden you don't have anything to say. Lil Wayne, we know you was there for just shits and giggles for promo.
You know what?
Goddamn, I know you. All you gotta talk about is Juneteenth. That's it.
Come on.
But when it come to Wayne, it's like, hey, my man, would you support Donald Trump to stay out of jail? That's a hard question to ask. If you had to publicly endorse Donald Trump to not go to jail, would you do it? I think I would. I think I would. I mean, out of all of the people that backdoored and supported Donald Trump, that we was like, bro, what
that one makes the most sense.
That makes the
hey, listen, I would give Wayne the benefit of the doubt if it was just that. But when you couple all the other bullshit he was since, I never forget that Dateline interview where he asked, do you think Black Lives Matter? He said, well, my whole lives, well, my life, my hoes, my kids' lives matter.
I mean,
What he said some shit like, in my 34 years of living, I thought racism didn't exist no more. Well, Skip Bayless asking, so Wayne, you mean to tell me when you go to Connecticut and you're performing in front of all these white people, you told me you don't see many black faces. What does that mean to you, Lil Wayne? I thought that mean that racism doesn't exist no more. What, my nigga Shannon Sharp looked at Wayne like, Wayne, what is you? So you know what I mean? I know this ain't about Wayne, but I think that this endorsement of Donald Trump, coupled with all the other shit he did before that, was like, hey, Wayne, I grew up listening to you, bro, but you on that bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, he was on the bullshit with that. But in terms of, because there was a lot of people that had like even the people that was criticizing to not even like be overly focused on the people who got caught up with the personal conversations and endorsements, but the people who responded to people who supported Donald Trump, right? Like people who got like the Ice Cube situation. You got to look at that from another perspective now, because all of these people that care so much that Ice Cube was talking to Republicans, like they don't give a fuck no more. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't hear that. Like you don't hear that conversation. I mean, so I think a part of the reason why I want to have have this discussion was because, I mean, as I'm still taking in information and I'm still listening. But in terms of the conversations that's being had about what's taking place, there are a lot of things that haven't changed in this country. It's a lot of there, like for example, there are still kids in cages, which is a huge talking point. And now I'm not saying these things to be like, let's beat up on, you know what I mean? But let's look at it in perspective. A lot of this shit that Trump initiated, that niggas was mad about, is still taking place. Now that causes us to reevaluate, which I'll get to more. So I still want to focus on this question of what happened to them voices, but it causes you to reevaluate why those criticisms took place, right? And what was the extent of it? You feel me? But in terms of where those voices went, how would y'all explain the disappearance though? Because I don't want to. Because I don't want to just sound like I'm being overly rude and fucked up. Just like didn't nobody give a fuck? Because I can come off like that. So I want Toya, you got the vernacular. You know what I'm saying? You got the flow. So how would you explain why that shit why that shit disappeared?
I'm not even gonna hold you. Amongst a lot of possibilities, I feel like I feel like liberals and Democrats made conservatives eat their words in terms of exploring what was possible and kind of just seeing that they really didn't have the momentum that they thought they did, that they didn't have the clamp on the country that they thought they did. January 6th got them excited. Well, no, I can't even say because that happened before. That happened after the election. But I think two things. One, I think they got shushed. They got hushed. They lost. Right. And some of them are willing to just say a loss is a loss, a L is a L. And there weren't enough people trying to fight the results of the election they lost. The second part of it, though, that I'm more concerned about is I think they own some insidious, we lost the battle, but we're going to win the war type shit. I already told y'all before in a different political chop and other conversations that 2022 is about to be wild. And so I think a lot of people, you know what you take when you get your ass beat good enough, but you ain't tired yet. And you like, okay, I got you. You take your L and you walk away. You go lick your wounds, you go heal, you go recalibrate. And Donald Trump, I've said it a couple minutes ago, has not.
You spin the block, goddamn.
You know what I'm saying? He's not being politically active. January 6th, people are still upset about that. There are people still wanting to plan other stuff. People are mad about this liberal coming in and doing all this and doing all that. And people are pissed off that the person who won is doing the same stuff Donald Trump was already doing. They feel like it should have just been a continuation. So when Lee say spin the block, I'm concerned about the spin the block. I don't think they quiet as we think they are. I think it's some planning, it's some conspiring, it's some piecing together, and I think it's about to be Trumpism is real.
But now, before we get to George, I mean, you ain't got to go too far. You know what I'm saying? Because that's definitely a concern. Because whiteness ain't went nowhere. You know what I mean? But that's from the conservative standpoint. But a lot of liberals, from the standpoint of what happened in 2016. That were like, we need real progressives, right? Hillary Clinton wasn't that. We need real liberals. Hillary Clinton ain't that. Joe Biden ain't that either. You know what I mean? Joe Biden is nowhere near the real I mean, him and Hillary Clinton, if anything, they're the same. Politically, they're the same. They're twins. You know what I'm saying? They are cookie cutter establishment Democrats, without a doubt. So what happened to the voices that didn't come out in 2016, and the voices that flat out was like in what 2020 that was like Joe Biden is XYZ, right? He's the what did they call him, the crime bill Strom Thurmond was his partner. You feel me? Where are those conversations?
It beats me. They elude me. And what Kevin has said is it's just algorithms. It's not necessarily, it might just be us in our own echo chambers not really hearing these conversations, because he's saying that they're not quiet. That there could be different, platforms and different vantage points that we're not seeing, that is not allowing for us to have register a lot of these voices. So it's not that they're any quieter, it's that things have changed. Shout out to Noel too, real quick. Definitely showing love to the show, investing in what we got going on. We definitely are using this contributions like these to round out the chop up experience to do things like make sure StreamYard is up and popping for y'all, that we can make sure we are doing what we need to do and being where we at. So thank you so much to Noel for investing in us and what we got going on. That's definitely big love, big love to Noel.
Now, George, my question for you is slightly different, bro. Did Donald Trump do us a favor? Did his presence actually do more to spark
1,000.
conversation? And let me say this, in contrast to somebody like Joe Biden, who, from the standpoint of that, like the argument that I'm making now, has more so, or as Pinky Promise said in the chat, the political pacifier, right? Did Joe Biden do us, or did Donald Trump do us more of a favor than Joe Biden in terms of keeping people aware, awake, and talking about shit?
Definitely, man. I always thought that Donald Trump's presidency had the silver lining of making people be more engaged with the policymaking process and politics in general. I think that before Donald Trump, it was a lot of people that I felt like used to literally turn their nose to the idea, the you thinking about politics. You look like you think about say something about politics. They weren't involved in that. You feel me? It was a whole bunch of pseudo political analysts and a whole bunch of political hot takes that I was seeing from 2014 to 2016. You feel me? So yeah,
Easily. I even saw people saying that they were happy, like when he got elected. I forget whose tweet or whatever, but I mean, people are generally, some people's general sentiment was, I'm glad because niggas is about to wake up. If you weren't awake before, you're going to be jolted awake now. If you weren't used to the shenanigans of the political system, what we call political theater, and the ways that it's going to put on this minstrel show for you, it's about to tap dance for you now, boy. It's about to really show up.
Now, doesn't that create a conundrum though? Who did you vote for, Toya?
In this last election?
Yeah.
I voted for Joseph Biden.
Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy.
Joseph
You voted for
Biden.
Sleepy Joe.
I voted for Sleepy.
And the dilemma.
It's not
Donald
really
Trump.
though. I voted for Joe Biden. And you know,
Yeah.
I've never paid attention. I've never participated in a presidential election. I participated in the presidential election because of the presence of Donald Trump.
So when it's all said and done, the end point
Like,
is political participation.
Okay. I get the endpoint, but I need y'all to see the conundrum.
Sure.
Right? Joe Biden is the political pacifier. Donald Trump is the, you know what I'm saying, misogynist, racist, pig, all of that. Right? He actually got people talking. Joe Biden will shut people, or I'm gonna say shut people up, but create a sense of complacency.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So we vote for Joe Biden knowing he's gonna bring that complacency, and we fight against Donald Trump knowing that he's sparking the conversation and forcing people to understand and be aware of the ways in which politics is racial. Like, how can we say I voted for Joe Biden, but how can we say it makes sense to have people like Joe Biden in office, that we support them, that we want them there, knowing that we will, as a people, not move with the intensity that we need to move with to go from the, okay, this is normal, to the next level?
I mean, it sucks. And one of the things I think back to specifically in the context of being kind of with your hands tied, you know, it's really like Sonya said, Jim Crow Joe being the lesser of two evils. He really is, right? And so we can't erase.
That's the name I was looking for, Jim Crow Joe. That's the name I was looking for.
So shout out to Sonya for popping in, but that's facts, and we can't ignore that. And one of the things that I was the most reticent about is the whole we gonna hold him accountable. I knew that was a lie, because how? Because when? In 4 years, if he's still alive to run again, he's the oldest president that has ever won a political election or a presidential election. So on his 82nd birthday, on his 82nd go around the sun, you really gonna hold him accountable for what he did from year 78 to 82. And that's just not realistic. You know what I'm saying? So like the whole, and we gonna hold him accountable. Like our accountability metrics, unless you down the ride like June 6th, our accountability metrics are elections that come around, you know, every 2 to 4 years. And by then people get foggy, they forget, they're no longer upset, they're not heated. People are not, you know what I'm saying, exercising the right to protest, to vote over small, minute, you know, the minutia of politics. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's big stuff, people are not getting together to say, you told me this and you did this. It's over for you. Like nobody's in the streets doing for that. People just like, damn, there go the system doing what they were supposed to do. And they go on about their business until the next election cycle and until they're forced to vote for the lesser of two evils. And so it's a vicious cycle that never ends. And I knew when we said it as people who had to make that tough decision. Wasn't nobody finna hold these niggas accountable because how?
Yeah. I mean, but I felt like I was a little optimistic. I'm not gonna lie. I was very optimistic that that ain't funny. Like I was optimistic that like niggas was pissed in 2016. But hold on.
Big
hold on. You said what?
You said what, Lee?
Is that broke Tiger Woods or Diamond?
Oh my God!
No, it's broke. It's broke Tiger Woods. It's broke Tiger Woods. But I was optimistic. I felt like, you know what I'm saying, niggas was mad in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I didn't think Joe would get the nomination, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? So when he got the nomination,
who did for real though? I don't think none of us did until like what Amosa showed me the bullshit, empty gestures, symbolism of all them quote unquote political debates. And I feel like all three of us as debaters, like, what the fuck y'all mean debate? You mean pound on goddamn? But
right.
You know what I'm saying? We know like
grandstanding, like
he didn't win nothing. He didn't win no debate.
Right. There was very few times. Most times people was just like, yeah, Joe Biden, he just looked slow. He just looked like he didn't have it there. You know, he fell behind on the questions. He didn't respond well. He didn't look well on camera. They was shitting on Joe Biden only for him to be the nominee. So I felt like even though he became the nominee, right, there was going to be some sense of, all right, the whole 2016 conversation, we gonna vote you in because we know that Trump is like dangerous for real, but we on your ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To be that mad, right? To the energy to allow Trump to then be, and that was another thing. Niggas was indignant when they let Trump get elected. I'm not about to vote for the lesser of two evils. I'm not about to.
Yeah,
niggas was indignant about that shit, only to backdoor and get the same person that y'all would have got in 2016.
Yeah,
it would have just been a white woman, but they at least would have broke some type of glass ceiling. I mean, I guess Kamala did too. Shout out to what she did. But say like that, you ended up in the same position you did in the first place. After the protest, or the protest votes. You know what I'm saying? After the like abandoning of, I mean, I ain't gonna say abandoning. That is a mainstream political narrative. Niggas did not abandon the vote. But after standing in, not really fucking with that type of liberal, I think it's just I think it's crazy how we allowing this type of liberal to take place still. You know what I'm saying? After all of that. Now, the last question I'm gonna ask, you know what I'm saying, as we get to that, before we get to the last chop, is in terms of that conundrum. What is how do we move forward in terms of knowing that if we get the candidate we want, or the one that we feel is more productive, we'll be or not even more productive. The lesser of two evils will pacify us, or the motherfucker that's just inherently dangerous will literally, you know what I'm saying, will actually have us fighting and working and, you know what I'm saying, invested. How do we move through that conundrum?
There has to be a conscious internal conversation, a discussion, and an agreement. You know what I'm saying? Like voting blocks, understandings about how things are happening, promoting candidates. But here's the thing, and what we've always said about what you have to do to get into the upper echelons of political systems and structures in a white supremacist settler colonial nation like the United States that is predicated and built on anti-blackness. By the time you get that high up in the system, I don't trust you no more. By the time you get that high up into some shit, your interest, it's not even a lack of distrust. It is the fact that my interest can no longer be centrally your concern. Right. And so in terms of like, what do we do? How do we, make sure that we keep people politically motivated without dealing with the baggage of the BS and dealing with a bad president or a bad candidate that we need out and getting out of that it becomes circular in the sense that I don't know, because I'd almost rather opt out of participating than know for a fact that whoever gets up there and represents at least most of my politics will also not represent a bunch of mine. They're gonna care about militarism, imperialism. They're not gonna care about the environment. They're not gonna care about queer issues. They're not gonna care about. It's gonna be something important that they leave off the list. That should really disqualify them from having any of my support. And so,
the first two, they can't.
Yeah, it's a catch-22 for real. So it's hard to say like what is it gonna take, because my understanding of how this system works means the higher you get to the top of it, the less you represent the needs directly of the people who most likely look like and represent me and my needs, and are doing so with a level of truth, sincerity, and true genuine leadership that I can respect. So it's hard.
It's hard. Hey, Kevin, that's gonna be the next political chop. You feel me? That's gonna be the next political chop. We're gonna have that conversation. George, how do we move to the conundrum? How do we work through it? How do we strategize? What's your thoughts, bro?
Man, the little colloquial that became popular, you feel me, last summer, man. Keep that same energy. You feel me? And I know it's easier said than done. But right now, I got my little plan around, man. I feel like I've been in like a little writer's block, so I got a whole bunch of ideas. But definitely 2022 midterms is coming up. Last time we talked about getting in the game too late. You know what I'm saying? So now it's 2021. What does it mean for you to go into your local area and try to not only find out what candidates out there, but going on and Bob the Builder, you know what I'm saying, the politician out there. You feel me? And really being able to stay invested into all of like the voter suppression, all the voter law, like really still paying attention to what's going on as if it is full, like as if your timeline and algorithm is still filled and it's still politically charged. Because that's all it comes down to, man. It's like, do you have integrity enough to pay attention to what's going on, or does it only matter when it's in front of your face?
Exactly. Because when it's not in your face is really when the moving and shaking is really the most of it is happening. By the time it gets to us on the regular news feed or whatever, it's too late to do anything about a lot of it. Right. You know what I'm saying? We don't know enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you said right there, George, at the end is perfect to understand like how this shit has to work. I think one of the crazy things that happened to me, and I'll close it out with this, is after Joe Biden got elected, like I went off, like all the energy, you know what I'm saying, that I had towards like being disgruntled with having to choose him as a candidate or having to vote for him as a candidate. I mean, I let it be known, you're president now, so let me tell you how I really feel. And the amount of hate that I got from black people because I went in on Joe Biden after he was elected, after I made videos saying, yeah, we should vote for, you know what I'm saying? After I've made videos going at Donald Trump, the amount of hate that I got for going at Joe Biden, you know what I'm saying? For being a piece of shit, moderate liberal, you know what I mean? Who actually enables a lot of the bullshit that conservatives get away with in the long run. Me calling them out for that, you know what I mean? Niggas got a lot of hate. So it's like that right now, that energy ain't being kept. Right now, a lot of that rhetoric that started in 2016, that bled its way into 2020. Shit's a lot of that shit sounding empty right now.
Facts.
You feel me?
Facts.
Right now, it sounds like y'all was caught up on y'all sound like y'all was caught up on celebrity worship, trying to go at Donald Trump right now. You feel me? They still got some time left in there. Like you said, we got midterms coming up, so people still got opportunity to show that. You know, they not just invested in politics and how this country operates and ran just when it's, you know what I'm saying, hip and cool. Because we're not gonna act like talking shit about Donald Trump wasn't cool. Like that was the mainstream hip shit to do. But can niggas move beyond that? Can niggas be bigger than that? And right now, niggas ain't showing that. But that's the political chop. Political chop.
Big O. Hello, good evening. Nice to meet you. My name is Toya Green. It's great. Appreciate the admiration, love, and respect in the comments, but I'm not your child. I don't do anything on command. So the whole put your hand down, don't look down, whatever, that's weird to me. Please, you can stop now. And also the licking my lips, whatever, not a thing. Like, we don't have to talk about that at all. But thank you so much for stopping by the Chop Up Show.
Yeah, bro. Hey, bro.
But that's just not a thing. Don't.
Bro. Keep it respectful with the extra shit. You know what I'm saying? Keep it respectful.
But respectful appreciation the same way I respectfully appreciate New Kang Era. Appreciate definitely you for popping in. Appreciate Robert Reed for dropping some comments. Definitely appreciate you tapping
Oh
in.
yeah, Kevin Big O,
It's live
Robert
news.
Reed, New
I
Kang
show love
Era.
like that all day long. Show love like that all day long. But all the rest of the extra stuff, just be the homie. You know what I'm saying? Let's
Yeah,
kick it
man,
real quick
yeah.
and talk about some things. Speaking of, let's slide on to the next shop, the last shop of the night, which is going to be the entertainment shop. I got one word for y'all. Kanye. All right. Kanye West is coming back this Friday with a new album. It has been kind of highly anticipated, but then people stop talking about it. It's gonna be entitled Donda. Donda. Do you pronounce his mother's name Donda? Donda West, Miss Donda, Dr. Donda West. I
Donda.
think so. Donda.
I thought it was
Nah,
Donda.
yeah. Don't trust George though. Don't trust George.
I thought it was Donda. Nah, I was Kanye. I was a big Kanye West fan. And I thought it was Donda.
But that album is coming out on Friday. It was highly anticipated, but we stopped hearing about it a whole lot because all of a sudden it was about Kanye running for president, right? And so this album, at least what it's entitled, has been circulating for a while. Now, before we get excited about new Kanye music, the way that people typically do, right? When Kanye does anything, it seems like he can breathe, and people are just all over the story, all over the beat. We know that his presidential run was weird as hell, and that he ran as a Republican. That his views and perspectives in a lot of ways did not reflect the views and perspectives of a lot of Black people, a lot of queer people. And his views and perspectives were also very vague, very unclear for him to be a political candidate. But we know he was on Team Trump. We know he said weird things about slavery. We know that he's just not the same old Kanye. So are we, tell me in the comments, tell me on the chop up, are we uncanceling Kanye? Are we here for? Are we checking for new Kanye music?
No, the fuck, no.
Yeah, okay.
No. Like, I mean, cause check this out. It's like, I mean, I believe in cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that people can be uncanceled. I don't think Kanye did anything worth being uncanceled.
Okay.
I don't think just because the nigga put out an album, you feel me? We're then like, okay, I'm gonna get back into nah. You know what I mean, it's like those things matter. That energy matters. So like, just because you drop in a new joint, don't take away from like the muddled conversations that took place culturally,
right?
Because niggas like your music. You know what I mean? Like that's the thin line of the shut up and dribble conversation. Like nobody should be told that they're only relegated to what they do. However, when you show that you can't do the other shit, stick to what you good at.
But it's a trial basis. You know what I'm saying? I think that's fair. Like you get a trial run, and then we be like, nah, we don't want that. Lee,
you feel me?
I think, man, Kanye West always kind of the whole thing surrounding him has always been kind of, I feel like, puzzling for me because he was supposed to been, I ain't gonna say even counseled. You know what I'm saying? He was supposed to be held accountable when people were supposed to be suppressing some of that shit. During that, he became the richest Black man in American history. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So he was like, you know,
so are you checking for it? Like,
I ain't even checking for Kanye for years. You feel me? But obviously, shit, me not checking for him ain't stopping from being, you know what I'm saying, a billionaire. You know what I mean?
At all. I mean,
and, you know, all three of us ain't checking for him at all, really. But they don't. Somebody buying them shoes. Somebody buying the albums.
I mean, and don't forget the Gap clothes. You know, he got the new contract with Gap. He making clothes for him over there now. Wearing middle of the summer and shit.
I mean, but the whole thing about him being canceled is more supposed to be a cultural thing. That's what, like, when we see that he is benefiting, like from on that perspective, with the white CEOs of Gap, with the white CEOs of this clothing company, with the white fashion designers, and when we see that, like culturally, we as a people, we're supposed to disconnect from that because you're like, again, you're muddling the cultural conversations and you're benefiting from it, like in these other business arenas. Because let's not act like, you know, with somebody like Kanye, it's not just about his quote business acumen. I mean, so go ahead, tell you.
I mean, I guess I just, you know, because he's always kind of blamed it on him being this evil genius, somebody that we don't really understand, and that we are, you know what I'm saying, 7 steps behind anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, And so when he's cozying up to these white designers and he's doing all this and doing all that, are we not just waiting for do you think we're waiting on a big reveal? And I asked this question because like Brother Dodak says, long as it's not a gospel album, I'm gonna check for Kanye West album, and especially if he has political content. So maybe this is an opportunity for him to start to do the big reveal, to start explaining himself, to really start to allude to what he's trying to get after. Like a track list is already out. It's already some interesting stuff going on with the album. So you just like, nah, I'm past it. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that's done. Like there is no political, bro. You ran for office. You run it like you being an actual political figure. You feel me? That's what that shit's supposed to bleed into. The music was supposed to create the political connection with you and the people, and then as a political figure, that's how you shape and lead. That nigga ain't no leader. Kanye West ain't nobody that needs to be shaped. You can shape some shoes, you can shape some pants, a t-shirt, see what shape what that shit look like. Kanye West shouldn't be shaping nobody culture. The nigga that's like talking down on Harriet Tubman and niggas was choosing to be like people that say silly shit like that type of, you know what I'm saying, narcissism, because the whole mad scientist shit is always just an excuse, right? That it's always just the thing that the narcissist relies on to set themselves apart. Right. Embrace the negative archetype and set yourself, you know what I'm saying, outside of the norm by saying everybody else is just stuck in a box. Right. But in a lot of instances, especially culture, right? Outside of mainstream shit, like the way that everything has been commercialized. In culture, period, you have norms. In culture, you have standards in your culture, right? That's at the heart of it, because those norms and standards reflect what we represent. And once you step outside of that, in terms of what we represent, then you undermine the culture. Kanye did that.
Yeah. And so it's some undoing you can't do, even if we let you make it, right? Even if we not like don't play Kanye, don't like actively like repudiating what you do, right? I think you will absolutely deserve to not really get any of the bump of the cloud. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people are trying to, really bump it. Justin LA Boy, who y'all know is social media famous or whatever, got popping off of just sending a bunch of basically, the random relationship tweets. Got some static, got some steam off of those, start commenting on stuff, and now he's just somebody. So he tweeted, I think toward the end of last week, maybe, Kanye played his new album for me and KD, Kevin Durant, last night in Vegas. Man, listen, the production is light years ahead of his time, and the bars sound like he's broke and hungry, trying to get signed again. Any artist who plan on dropping soon should really push it back, respectfully. Right? So
we don't want to hear nothing from Justin LaGroupie, goddamn it. I say, at this point, nigga, I want to know. You know what? I'm jealous. I want to know how much Kanye paying his brother to keep him close in proximity to promote. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, at this point, Justin, to me, you know what I'm saying? LaGroupie,
that man, Justin LaGroupie.
He just be like, just I ain't. None of this shit come out for me as being genuine or sincere that he do or say really from keeping this stuff.
That shit, yo, and what pissed me off, bro, I'm not gonna lie. My black people, we get caught up in so much hype. Like we just get caught up in so much hype. Yeah. Like just like even like with the conversation we just had about Donald Trump. You know what I mean? It be the hype of the comment, just the fact that when we talk about controversy sales, god damn, it sells generally. But specifically when we talking about black people, that's where that shit get dangerous, because a nigga who will like spill some, you know what I'm saying, some pollution into the conversation can be pretty much, we look past that because he dropped a hot album. Maybe. Because I ain't heard no shit hot. Like I think some niggas be rapping and selling shit off their name. I think Kanye has been doing that for a while now. Yeah. And that's just being honest.
Really in a way, he's been able to ride the clout of, the Yeezy brand. Now he got the partnership with Gap. So it's like, being able to latch yourself onto other entities and I guess not do anything bad enough for them to want to break relationships with you allows for you and affords you some sustainability while you work out your shit. Go ahead.
Twin Man just dropped a comment that I think is interesting. He said, cancel culture is a myth. This is called consequences. People want to be able to say what they want without consequence, and that's not how life works. And that's what I think. And I think they're synonymous. Because when we're talking about as the culture, that's the only consequence we can dole out. Is whether or not we allow you to be a voice, whether or not we allow you to be a face, to
I mean, but the thing about cancel culture is nobody agrees on what we, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the hard part, is don't nobody agree on nothing. We were supposed to be like cancel before, and then everybody was like, what's his name? Jesus is Lord. Everybody was all over that album, ate it up. He's a great gospel artist. Oh my God. And then all of a sudden his church started moving around and doing whatever. And people was getting their tickets and going, and so it was still a whole vibe and a whole wave. And so
and then they started suing that nigga for not paying.
Pay my money, man.
And those are the parts of the conversations we can't even, we should probably talk about in terms of Kanye, but it's just like, you already, your issues are so big and so broad. We don't even care enough to antagonize you for what you're already not doing. If people want to do business with you or mess with you at this point, that's their business. They've chosen to align themselves with somebody who's proven to be inconsistent in the way that they move in a lot of other ways. These comments been jerking. Shout out to y'all. Y'all kind of been keeping the vibe and the dialogue live with yourself. From what I'm seeing, a lot of people not really checking for this Kanye West album. The general kind of perception is we've moved on and he had his moment and his opportunity ain't really real. Robert Reed, if you ever want to share any content or data points for us, definitely drop it in our Instagram DMs, and we will, take a look at stuff like that. If it applies, we'll make a post about it. So I'm just seeing your comment about that. Definitely drop whatever in our Instagram DMs. That's the Chop Up Show, at the Chop Up Show on IG. Ethereal Beauty popped back in and said, I think this just goes to show how hypocritical the general public can be. And that's in line with what we're saying. That's why it's hard to put a post. And I this is more in a general sense, but I've stopped, and I should have been doing this before, but I've missed the opportunity to enjoy a lot of stuff and paid attention to stuff I should have not paid attention to by listening to social media, listening to pop culture. I've let different weird ass takes talk me out of listening to good albums that I probably just didn't get a chance to care about.
And watching movies you would enjoy.
The Upshaw season 2, Toya. The Upshaws was renewed for season 2.
Look, I honestly heard some nonsense. I was looking at all these little black sitcoms that they got on Netflix, the Upshaws, the Jamie Foxx show, the Tia and Loretta Devine show. Which one?
Jamie Foxx got a show on Netflix, George. Jamie Foxx got a known show on Netflix.
It's trash.
It's terrible.
Because I saw his, I thought the Upshaws and everything else was gonna be bad, and it's not. Like, the Upshaws is lit, Family Reunion lit. The only one you can keep is definitely that Jamie Foxx situation. But all of this to say, I just gotta stop listening to y'all. I gotta listen to myself. I gotta enjoy stuff for myself, because y'all be lying. Y'all be pump faking. Y'all get to making memes, and now all of a sudden I'm believing them, and niggas are sharing them. So we get a kiki out of it. We get a whatever. Whatever. I'm actually kind of interested in Fast 9. I know the shit's not realistic. I know cars don't really do that. I don't, but I like a fast car.
People don't catch cars, Toya. People don't catch cars.
But I understood that when I sat down to watch a movie, because I'm an adult who lives in reality and understands the way that cinema works. And so that's what I want. I want stuff that I don't have to think too hard about, or that can suspend my imagination, especially because I'm not into Ghost or some stuff just don't scare me, don't interest me. So
she said Ghost. What was the last good Ghost movie, Toya?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. I don't watch any of them because I think a presence. I it, neither here nor there. Yeah. I'm just about to stop listening to you niggas. Kanye can stay where he is. Mm-hmm. I'm still very interested in the social media, the political response to it. I'm not gonna check for it anyway, so I don't really care. It wasn't like I'm still on the fence. I'm not gonna check for it, but it's gonna be hype. And I'm interested to see how, because I want to know who's willing to tell the truth and say it sucks. I want to hear about who's willing to have those hot takes. There's a song about Kim Kardashian on there that is already about to be, all of the conversation or whatever, because apparently he compares the relationship to her to a prison, but then in another breath, people are saying he's not all that disrespectful to her but I'm a part of popular culture. I'm here. I'm on the Chop Up with y'all, so we got to talk about this stuff. So I'm gonna keep one of my
you are the social media girl. Why you talking about? I'm not.
That's the crazy part about it is when this album drop, it's gonna be number one on all social media platforms because everybody gonna be streaming to see what he's talking about.
That's it. And so we'll just await it, and I ride that wave.
Controversy sells, man. And he got a lot of it.
The original question that I asked, you know what I'm saying? Response to those controversies. I asked y'all if y'all was checking for the album or not. You know what I'm saying? Checking for Kanye and what he's up to, and for a bunch of different reasons. A lot of y'all told me it's dead. So
Kevin said he'll let us know.
Kevin, make sure you tap back in with us Monday night. We'll make sure to tap in and see how things are going with the album and if it slaps or not. And if I end up coming across a track or two, I'll let y'all know my take as well.
We may even do a one-off Snapchat.
You never even know. You never even know. Vance, baby, oh cool. Y'all slid in on us. Definitely want to show y'all some love and just shout y'all out for being in the building with us for real. All right, good night. Kevin about to bounce. Ironically, we about to bounce too. That's the end of the entertainment chop for me. And that's the end of the third chop, which means we have come to the end of another wonderful Monday night with y'all rocking on the Chop Up Show.
Mm-hmm.
We never too far away, even if we missed a step. So last week we was out, but y'all knew we was gonna be here tonight. I mean, and the show goes on. What I need you to do is go check out the show. Anything you missed, anything you haven't already watched. I know we talked about Bill Cosby. I know we talked about a whole bunch of stuff. Sha'Carri Richardson, just a whole bunch of different conversations. The Olympics. Go check that out on the Chop Up Show pod, or on the Chop Up Show's Spotify and on our Apple Podcast. You can
and on our YouTube page.
On the YouTube, on the Facebook, all of those places you can go get caught up. This conversation will be there this week, so don't miss out on that. The Twitter, at the Chop Up Show Pod, at Chop Up Show Pod on Twitter, Instagram, the Chop Up Show, at the Chop Up Show.
Right there.
So you all got a way to stay connected. If y'all got stuff throughout the week, important news stories, stuff happening around us, send it to the DMs so we can see if we want to talk about it the next week. You know what I'm saying? Little stuff like that will take us a long way. But it's love for y'all. GeorgeLeeSpeaks.com. George, tell them where to find you.
Hey, GeorgeLeeSpeaks.com, man. We got some new merch coming your way real soon. Also, if you need you a soft core, soft skills training, whether it be professional development, anti-racism, diversity. You know what I'm saying? Y'all almost fucked that one up. But yeah, I didn't though. You know what I'm saying? And listen, if you worried about, the verbiage, I can get a little professional and do what we do in the Black community called code switching.
Absolutely.
So going on and just go to GeorgeLeeSpeaks.com. We got it there. And also too though,
if you want some of that soft core blackness,
HD. I know Toya got some things cooking up with HD as well. So if you need you somebody to talk in terms of leadership.
Hey, who make websites out there? Who make websites? I'm over. I was waiting on somebody. Then I said I was gonna do it. I don't need to make my own website. If y'all make websites, holler at me. I'm officially going ahead and opening up that door for somebody to go help your girl out. I'm willing to invest in that particular endeavor because it's time to go ahead and get back tapped into the lane. Get HD back where it's supposed to be. I'm currently doing leadership facilitation with the city of Littleton, Colorado. Shout out to Noel for holding us down with that. But if you got a small group, an individual organization you want to see elevated in the area of leadership, y'all hit me up about that too. We working out here. We facilitate
the nuances of leadership, not just like the cookie cutter, like, oh my God, this. I'm talking about the philosophy and principles and standards of leadership.
Let's talk about it.
Not just,
Hey, conversations that will be had. You feel me?
Dominique is my manager. Yeah, for real. On real life, on my tax paperwork, like shit go to his house first. So we mean it. We are a conglomerate.
I want to tap in with Through Your Beauty.
Hey, listen, y'all know where to find us. The DMs at the Chop Up Show on Instagram. At the Chop Up Show on Facebook.
We're gonna play 2 or 3 because we still waiting on that Chop Up and Chill design as well.
Yeah. Merch coming soon.
We ain't forgot.
But y'all know what it is. We got to get on up out of here. You feel me? I'm about to call it a night. I had a nice, fun, long weekend. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to catch up on this sleep. But we're going to end the show. Where do we always end the show? Let's get
me, my guys, we really live. Lord, forgive me, pay my tithes. Please don't have me reach inside. And that's in the console. Keep the semi when I ride. Lit off Henny when I